on, America? What's going on Facebook? What's going on YouTube and all those other good joints? It's Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. And I know it's been a couple days, y'all. I'm sorry. Sorry I left you. Sorry I left you. Left you crying. Since you've been gone, I've been all alone. Who sings that? Tell me. Tell me who sings that. Yeah, I will give you a prize, but we ain't big enough to do that yet. We could just give you a great job. That's about all we can give you. Great job. Yeah. So with that being said, please hit that like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other platforms. Make sure you let me know, first of all, if you can hear the sound that is coming out of my throat. Okay. If you can't, we need to correct that immediately. Okay. Hey, Don, what's happening? It's been a while. Been a couple of days, tied up, stuff happening. Still making sure I handle stuff at the crib. You know how things are. Life, man. It's all about life. So yeah, but I'm happy to be back because a whole bunch of stuff has been happening. Some of the stuff you already know about, but I didn't give my own take on it. I didn't give my take on it. So, now I'm here to do that. All right. And so welcome. If anybody's watching me on Facebook, welcome. If you're watching me, hey, Kim Reed. Oh man, I had a good friend from grade school named Kim Reed. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to drop your whole name out. If I did that, I'm sorry. I don't know if you want to be incognito, but your name popped out at me. So what's happening? All right. And let's see over here. It says watch the video from the other day. And thank you so much. Thank you very, very, very much. Now, please, if you have not joined my little text arrangement here, please do that. So we can kind of stay in touch just in case they unexist me over here on YouTube. They got a habit of doing that. So it's around 5 o'clock, depending on where you are in the country. So if you're somewhere where it is 5, then you're about to catch KC live at 5, okay? Because there's some things that's going on that's making me think that some stuff might be happening with the Bidens. They might be getting a little edgy and squirmy and all of that stuff because they're worms. That's what it is. They're weasels and stuff like that. They like to weasel off the hook. So we're going to talk about that and see if we can expose it and some other things too. It's always some fun at the expense of the stupid old Democrats and stuff like that. But before we do any of that, we're going to go ahead and have to get loose. Now, somebody said they're buffering on their end, Henry. All right. Anybody else buffering? Nobody? Is anybody else buffering? Because I don't want it to just be Henry and... Okay. All right. Says always get notification. Okay, cool. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and get it. Oh, look. See, from Ohio, but not... Okay. All right. Ohio. At least I got somebody who can understand where I'm coming from the yo, or at least from Ohio. All right, so let's get it, man. Let me stretch out. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. Real gorilla. There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorilla in here. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Now, before we get into this, we need to check in and find out the status with Creepy, Sleepy, Sleazy, Slimy, Sloppy Joe, because he done dropped a new album, y'all. Yeah, he always dropping his latest hits, man. So let's go ahead and first check out his warm-up before he gets into his latest hits. See what he's talking about. Bidenomics.
And 2 other members who couldn't be here but send their greetings. They are both very good friends and wanted to be here. Pramila, wait.
Jeez, what was that? You know what? This dude's worse than almost every character, even on TV. These characters got nothing on him. Sucker and Succotash. Sylvester, nothing on him. I'm telling you. Porky the Pig, but nothing. That dude right there just dropped out a whole sentence that made no sense. What is that? And then what's up with the thumb going in the mouth? And he need to stick his whole arm down his throat. Yeah, reach down there and pull out some actual words, Joe. That's what I want to see you do. I want to see your whole fist fondling around where your Adam's apple is, searching for a word. Didn't make sense. Talk about stuff. The freedom, you know what? I got to run that back. Because I'm trying to make sense of that. Let me see. Because Kev, I'm usually pretty good at making sense out of nonsense. I was hooked on phonics. Let's see if I can figure this one out.
And two other members who couldn't be here but send their greetings.
Send their greetings.
They are both very good friends and wanted to be here.
Okay, so I got a lot of and the Senator greetings. Okay, so here we go.
Pramila, wait.
Sometimes I gotta stop and laugh. Make me sometimes want to stop, jump back, and kiss myself. So here he is. A lot of P's. I got stuck on the P's.
Jayapal. I sat down with one of my good friends, the head of the IBW, just retired, going to a retirement party for him this week. Okay. And I laid out, you may remember hearing I getting beat out of me, but I didn't care about the environment.
But I didn't care about the environment, y'all. There it is, man. Who's bi? I'm not sure who's bi, but well, is he bi? Is he saying bi didn't care, or is he saying what the whole definition of what bi is nowadays? I don't know what that is. That man just shorthanded his own name. Bi didn't care about. That's like me say K didn't care about. So here we go. Let's see who's bi and what bi is thinking and stuff. Yeah, you're right. 81 million votes, huh? 81 million votes.
Bi didn't care about the environment.
Bi didn't care about the environment. But today, what we've been, would have been Emmett's 82nd birthday. Now I'm going to turn it over to the mayor of Phoenix, who's on the front lines of dealing with extreme heat. And fire away, Mayor. We're anxious to hear what you have to say.
Wow. He just jumped right over that mug. Y'all see that? Joe knew when he was defeated. He looked at that name and said, I'll never make it, Joey. This gorge is too wide. Never make it. Just turn around. He's the mayor. I mean, you got to be kidding me. But look, I got to give him credit for knowing when he's licked. I mean, usually he'll take a shot at stuff like that and make it worse. My man just said, don't do it, Joey. The brain was begging him like, dude, you've embarrassed stuff enough, man. Just let it go, Joe. Don't say it. Don't even do this one. All right, so wait, who's up? What name is the next name to get butchered?
It includes the first ever black Secretary of Defense.
Who?
He wanted to be here tonight, but he's traveling to the Indo-Pacific to strengthen our security ties in the region.
Yeah.
Secretary Lloyd Austin.
Lord, what? Who? Lord. So Lloyd Austin, he got his name butchered. Who else?
Secretary Lloyd Austin.
I knew I was going to be president when Jim Clyburn went ahead and endorsed me.
Yep, Clyburn, not Burn. Jim Clyburn. Man, he is breaking out that Ginsu all the time. Joe's quick on the draw with that Ginsu knife. Chopping up names. Okay, wait, he got one last one. This was precious. Here we go.
Senator Angus King.
Oh, Genghis Khan? What did he just say? Senator Genghis King. No. All right, so here we go. Genghis King, Genghis Khan. It doesn't matter. Here we go.
Is putting it right here in Auburn manufacturing. Representative Sherelle.
Who?
Fingry. Sherelle.
Sherelle. Y'all hear that one? Sherelle is supposed to be Shelly. Sherelle. Uh-oh.
Champion
I
of
think
farmers and workers.
here comes his first cut coming up.
A great friend.
Great friend, but don't know her name. Sherelle. How many great friends you got, y'all, that you hacked their name up that bad? Got a friend named Robert. Robert. Come on. I'm not good friends with him. Clinton. You gotta be kidding me. Good friend of mine. His name is Clinton. Unbelievable. All right, so here we go. Great friend. But I think he's about to drop his first cut, though.
A great friend.
Surely you can't be serious.
Surely.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
It's never, ever
First cut, never, ever.
America. Ever. NATO has never, ever been as strong as it is today.
Ever?
Never. Never bow.
Never
bend. Never yield. Never kneel. Never.
Never, ever. Ever.
Ever,
Did you get that? Never, ever.
Never, ever, 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 ever. Never, ever, ever, ever. Never, never, ever, ever. Never, ever, ever, ever let the nation down. Never. Never, ever, ever,
Ever, ever, ever.
Never, ever, ever, never. Folks.
Y'all hear that? That's hot. That's right up. You heard it live right here in Kevin's Corner first. Now listen, he's still working on the lyrics, okay? It's a work in progress, okay? He only got 2 words, never and ever. Okay, but you know, depending on how he drop them out there, it could be ever, never, or it could be never, ever, or a combination of the two. You know, never, ever, ever, never, ever. See, you never know. But wait, he's dropping a new one too called Folks. Well, guess what? Folks. Well, guess what?
Folks.
This is hot too.
Folks. Guess what? Well, guess what? And guess what? But guess what?
The child in question just...
Okay, wait. Okay, all right, let me get serious now. All right, enough of Joe Biden's new songs that he's dropping. Folks. Well, guess what? Unbelievable, this dude, man. He's crazy. But now let's get to something more serious because, see, I sense a disturbance in the force. That's what I sense. It appears that the media is starting to rally around Creepy, Sleepy, and the Crackhead. And whenever they start rallying around Creepy and the Crackhead, they're protecting them for something. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how they're handling, first of all, the Crackhead, and then we'll get to Creepy.
Years old, a girl Hunter Biden had with London Roberts. He says he had an encounter with while he was battling his cocaine addiction. Writing in his 2021 memoir, quote, "I had no recollection of our encounter. That's how little connection I had with anyone. I was a mess, but a mess I've taken responsibility for."
Security at an all-time high as President Joe Biden's son Hunter appeared in court today.
Hunter Biden settled a years-long paternity battle earlier this summer with Roberts in an Arkansas court. Back in 2019, Roberts said in court filings that a DNA test established with, quote, "scientific certainty" that Hunter Biden is the father, something he had previously denied. He agreed to pay monthly child support in 2020. And the new settlement between Hunter Biden and Roberts includes a college fund, an undisclosed amount of child support, and a number of Hunter Biden's paintings to be selected by the little girl.
Wait a minute, who want that mess? Man, don't be burdening that little girl with them raggedy behind paintings, bootleg paintings from a crackhead. This one right here is called All the Crack in the World. And this one is You Crack Me Up. And this one is Don't Crack on Me. Yes, I have all types of paintings all dealing with crack. All right, so now let's go ahead and see how the media is trying to spin this latest news of the Bidens finally accepting their granddaughter. Here we go.
Efforts to reach Roberts for comment have been unsuccessful. Republicans now looking to turn President Biden's family story, long seen as a political strength, into a liability. The president has not counted this grandchild his 7th when he talks about them.
Hey. Republicans aren't trying to do nothing. Creepy Sleepy did that all on his own. See, first of all, you're responsible for the crackhead. Then the crackhead goes out and produces an offspring from a hooker. Or should I say prostitute, stripper, whatever she is. Nonetheless, he produces the offspring. And then Creepy denies the offspring. So it ain't our fault. He gave that one to us, man. So now let's see how the media is trying to blame it on everybody else except for Creepy and the crackhead.
I have 6 grandchildren. I speak to them every single day.
Conservative outlets pointing out how the White House Christmas stocking this year did not include the little girl. The White House asked earlier this month about it all.
There was a story in the New York Times over the weekend about Hunter Biden's daughter in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Does the
Come on, Black
president acknowledge
Rock.
this little girl as his granddaughter? I don't have anything to share from here.
Nah, ain't got nothing to share from there. Nothing to share from there. So now here comes the cleanup crew. Damage control. Now, why are they still protecting this dirt bag? That's what I don't understand. You know, that shows just how dirty the media is when they protect this dirt bag. Now, and we're going to go over several areas where the funky, stinking, nasty dirt bag, disgusting, poop smelling, dumpster juice, pond scum, two-bit, backstabbing, dirty, snag-a-tooth, low-down media is trying to protect Biden and the crackhead. Several areas. Starting off with this one, though.
One thing that we heard some of the GOP candidates bring up in Iowa, President Biden is now acknowledging his 7th grandchild.
Wonder why now?
Statement out on Friday night.
Wonder
Our
why
son
now?
Hunter, they said, and Navy's mother London are working together to foster a relationship that is in the best interests of their daughter.
Because I'm trying to get reelected, and I know they're going to pound me on this issue, so I got to pretend that I like my granddaughter, who I've never met and denied since the beginning. Could that be it?
Preserving her privacy as much as possible going forward. This is not a political issue. It's a family matter. Jill and I only want what is best for our grandchildren, including Navy. So just
please, okay? You hear this crap. It's not political issues. We want what's best for our granddaughter. If this was not a topic that he felt he was vulnerable in, you think he would have extended an olive branch out to this lady? No. This man would have went on pretending that this kid never existed. Okay. And now, see, here's the thing. It's obvious that the lady want the kid to be acknowledged. She want the Bidens to accept the kid. And yet they're rejecting that. It ain't like she said, look, you know what? Shh, be quiet. I'm just, y'all ain't got to do nothing for me. Just give me my money. Me and my kid gonna go off and live our life. They want them to be involved. So he has really no excuse, but I just don't want to be associated with this grandchild. That's his only excuse. But now that he knows it's a hot topic, he's trying to do some cleanup, and he's using the media now to cover, okay, to make it seem as if he just woke up with an epiphany, a revelation. Yeah, he just grew a heart like the Grinch that stole Christmas at the end. Yeah, so now he wants to know his kids, his grandkids. So here we go. Media, y'all ready for the media cleanup? Here it comes, y'all.
Just for a little bit of context here, the president had come under scrutiny for only acknowledging his other grandchildren, his first 6 grandchildren. I shouldn't say first 6 grandchildren, but the others that the family has acknowledged who have the Biden last name. And his family ultimately decided to do this. And Michael LaRosa, you worked for Joe Biden for a long time. Can you help us understand this a little bit? Because I do think for many of the critics, certainly, and there was a Maureen Dowd column about this.
Real quick before I go on, while it's there, somebody said they're not getting the text message, their text alerts. Yeah, that's because I use them sparingly because you only get so many allotted to you a month before you have to do an upgrade, which I'm going to do one upgrade to extend the amount that I can send out. And I'm working it out with the agency because, you know, it could get really out of hand with these text messages when it comes down to nothing dealing with you guys. It's all on my part. Okay, so I'm going to have to upgrade so I can send out many more. But right now, I'm selectively doing it, okay? So don't worry if you're not getting it. You will be getting them, but I got to do an upgrade on my amount, okay? So just be patient with that. But please, I don't want that to discourage you from texting me, okay? Texting that and, joining it, okay? Now, let's get back to this cover-up because, see, they're making it seem like people should stay out of Joe's business. See
this in the New York Times. This is a very innocent little girl who did nothing wrong, despite what her father Hunter Biden may have been going through at the time. Why now for the Bidens? And honestly, why did it take them so long?
Well, 2 things. First of all,
because they're dirtbags.
I respect you as a journalist for having to ask the question, but it is a very gross and uncomfortable subject to talk about as it is.
Well, let's not call a little girl gross. Okay?
No. I'm talking about
So now you hear this dude coming out ready to prostitute himself with no bass in that voice. First of all, why does all of it just always seem like these progressive liberal people that be trying to defend them, they all got just different mannerisms. I'll just say that. So here he is out here like, first of all, this is a gross. So let's finish hearing him speak right out of his nostrils.
Intersanctum of a family and the privacy of what goes on in a family. And you're right, that little girl, she should not be weaponized by the Republicans who are...
Oh, she's weaponized by the Republicans, huh? It has nothing to do with Joe Biden, the crackhead? It has nothing to do with the fact that they hang up all of those stockings, but they didn't include her, but they did include the dog? It has nothing to do with that? This is unreal. This dude trying to flip it and make it seem like, it's us.
Down there in Arkansas with conservative lawyers and conservative PR people and posting on their Instagram. They shouldn't be weaponizing her. And everybody's welcome to make their own.
Look at this guy. I love it. You see, he's licking his chops. He's ready to jump all over this dude with no bass in his voice like a spider monkey. Like, are you serious? Are you really trying to pretend that, yeah, it's not Joe and the crackhead's fault? No, it's all these Republicans. They're down there ready to pounce and all of that stuff, and they're exploiting the little girl and all of that mess.
Our own personal judgments on the Biden, but it is frankly, they are a family, a real family with real feelings, with real struggles and challenges, like every family. And I guarantee you that the more that the Republicans make this an issue, it will not work. Voters appreciate, voters relate to having struggles in their own families. They root for people with vulnerabilities. They root for people who understand and relate to them. And, ultimately, the Bidens are a real family, just like everyone else.
Now, this is one of several times that we're going to watch Democrat pundits come out and reach for words to excuse the Bidens. I mean, it got to be the worst and the most difficult job to get out there and prostitute yourself and try to make what these folks have been doing sound legitimate. We've heard it from Kareem / Blackgate drop. Try to get out there and make excuses for the Bidens. We're about to get a litany of that today, okay? So now, this Pop-Tart, one day he goes home and sleep at night. I know he feels like, good grief, they're making me look stupid getting out there and trying to make this make sense. So according to him, that it's going to backfire, y'all, because all Americans want to root for the underdog. Yeah, all Americans can relate to a rich, powerful family who their crackhead son gets excused for all of his behavior in public. They try to knock sweetheart deals out for him. He makes all this money, because of his daddy hooking him up. He's beaten so many other charges he should have been arrested on. And then he goes out and films himself having sex with all these folks while he's traveling all over the place. And then he's uploading it to the internet and he's doing all kind of stupid stuff. Get somebody pregnant, have the kid, then don't want to pay for child support. Then when he finally does pay for child support, don't want to acknowledge the kid. And the grandfather's okay with that. Everybody can relate to that. No, what everybody will relate to is the little girl who the powerful rich family doesn't want to acknowledge. They're going to say, that's a big, rich dynasty family. Yeah, like Blake Carrington and all of them up there in the Lexus. And they don't want to acknowledge, the little girl. That's what's going to happen. But yet he's trying to make it seem like, no, it's going to be the reverse of that. They're going to be like, leave Joe alone, y'all. If you don't want to acknowledge that grandchild, he ain't got to. That's a family matter. You got to be kidding me. So that was his effort, y'all. He took his shot. Let's see what they respond and say.
Sure. But Scott Jennings, the president has made being a family man a central part of his political identity.
Yeah.
It's not Republicans, with all due respect, who made Hunter Biden into a complete scumbag on this and other issues. The ignoring his own daughter for 4 years, and the president of the United States hanging up a stocking for the dog, and not for his 7th grandchild.
Okay, look, we can also have some.
They fighting, and you know what happened? Somebody was in that lady said, all right, listen, cut him off. He brought up the dog. Cut him off. So now she's trying to break up the fight. I say, let him fight. You know how I do it over here. It's like fight to the death. I want to see who's coming out on top. Don't be breaking mess up. CNN.
I have sympathy for people who are struggling with addiction. Let's keep this conversation respectful.
Listen, I totally agree. And you know where I'm from? A lot of families deal with addiction. And you know who ends up picking up the pieces? The grandparents. And in this case, the grandparents would not acknowledge this little girl. It is offensive. But the bottom line is...
But they have now.
Oh, what a hero. The polling must have been brutal.
Just make
Boy, I tell you. Yeah, but they have now. You see, CNN try to act like we're really coming to address this and be fair and balanced. But really what they're doing is they're fighting to make this look like it's acceptable. But they have now. What made them do that? What made them take so long to come out? Okay, and this man has a good point. The grandparents, you know how many families I knew that their parents were on drugs and the grandmother had to raise the kid? A whole bunch of them. But yet here she is talking about something. Now wait, we don't want to get to. Now here she's defending every talking point from this guy, but she's not doing anything to the guy with no bass in his voice. She let him go ahead and give his whole spiel on why Americans will relate and all this stuff. Now this guy comes out throwing bolos And she's like, well, now wait. Okay, first of all, we don't want to be too hard on people with addictions. Well, Hunter is not your average person with an addiction. That man had a crack habit and a job making $87,000 a month. Now, most crackheads can't afford their crack. That's why they steal TVs and things like that. You know, that crackhead was rich. So he's not your average parent. Okay, he's not your average drug addict or any of that stuff. Yet, here she is, now easy. We don't want to get on people with addictions. Imagine if it was Don Jr. with an addiction. Think she'll be having mercy? Think she'll be pumping the brakes? No, wait. Don Jr., he's a human being. There's family matters and people. They would be pounding it into the ground. They would be blaming Trump for his addiction. Trump probably gave him crack while he was in his cradle. It was crack in his cradle. That's what it was. That's right. He saw Don Jr. in that cradle and said, give him some crack. Yeah, that's what they would be doing. But now she's stepping in trying to break all this up.
It must have been brutal.
No one's ever questioned the heart and integrity of Joe Biden as a family man and as a human being and the pain and suffering and loss that man has been through.
Oh my God. Boy, that guy right there. Hold on, man. Wait a minute. I'm sitting there. I got my pistol laying down here. I forgot it was even in this room. I reached out like, what? Whose gun is this? I'm like, that's my pistol. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. This goes out to this guy right there with no bass in his voice. Put on your red dress and put on those high heels. That's what that guy's doing with no bass in his voice. He's putting on his red dress and his high heels and getting out on that corner for the Biden family, trying to talk about something. He's been through so much, and you know what? He's such a family man. I just watched a clip where they was talking about Ashley Biden in that diary, y'all. That's how much he was a family man. Taking showers with my daughter. Family man, huh? It's unreal.
Including the struggles he deals with.
With 30 seconds, Karen.
I think it is far more appalling to see Republicans this week, starting with you, Scott, calling the Vice President of the United States a liar when it comes to the very real personal stories. I don't need, some...
What is she talking about? Boy, I mean, I'm telling you, they make it so obvious that we are all the way in cahoots with the Democrat Party to run cleanup for these folks. So now she acts like she's just offended. She's upset. What is she even talking about? The president's a liar. Now listen how she pivots and bring up something stupid.
Academic to tell me about the horrors of slavery. It's in my own family. I know from my own family stories. You now have black conservatives who agree with her. Are they liars too? I think that conversation is far more troubling than an addict and a bad family situation.
Let me put a pause on this. Last word here.
What does this have to do with anything? Do you see? Now, you got to be an idiot to not recognize these type of tactics right there. They're talking about this man denying his grandchild and then miraculously and mysteriously just deciding out of nowhere, now I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge her. And she comes out talking about some slavery going on down there in Florida and the curriculum and acknowledge it. But it's so simple, man. This is like easy to just pinpoint. It's so easy to recognize. I want to be on that show, man. Yeah, I never thought I'd say it, but somebody bring me on CNN so I could laugh at this mess. I would be looking over her like, are you serious? How do we get back to slavery? And we're talking about Joe. Are you getting paid by the Bidens? Are you getting paid by the Democrat Party to run interference? Because that makes no sense. That pivot wasn't even, there was no connection. But that's what's happening on CNN.
And we're gonna go to
nice
Look, she thinks she dropped it. She thinks she just dropped it, y'all. See her look away like, shoot. That's what I'm talking about. I hope my mom and family was watching. I hope they was watching. Yeah, I'm hoping they're watching this part too.
It's not about Biden's addiction. This is about Joe Biden not recognizing his granddaughter for 4 years.
Oh.
The statement might be well worded, but it's inexcusable to give 4 years to acknowledge the child of God that was conceived regardless of the circumstances of that conception. It's a child of God he wouldn't recognize for 4 years.
I understand why you'd rather talk about that than talk about the fact that your party is demonizing people who want to tell the truth about racism while you're trying to reach out to African American.
Okay, we're gonna keep this conversation focused in on what is. We've got a lot more to talk about, and we'll be right back.
That woman shouldn't even be on TV. She made absolutely no sense. I see why your party wants to talk about that instead of focusing on racism. You already know their go-to, y'all. When they are in trouble, racism. All right, we caught you with a smoking gun. There's 3 bodies laying around. You're holding a gun. It's still smoking. We also got a recording of you saying, "Die, suckers, die," as you were shooting all 3 of these bodies. How do you play? You know what? I'm offended that you guys would be focused on these 3 bodies laying here and the fact that I was caught on video and audio. Okay, we should be talking about racism. There's a lot of racism going on around the world, and you're not even focused on it. This is their only go-to, y'all, racism, which brings me to this lady right here. Y'all know that face. Speaking of racism, oh God. Oh, so here we go, y'all. You know who this is. This right here is the #1 corrupt, stinking, deceitful politician in the world. We're talking about Nasty Pelosi. We're talking about monkey paw, hands, mush mouth, Nasty Pelosi. So let's go ahead and see what Nasty is trying to do. She's running interference as well. Let's see.
Age is relative. What I was in LA for some Democratic stuff recently, and I met with Norman Lear, who's 100, going on 101. He was telling me some new shows he was involved in. I was meeting with Frank Gehry, the 90-something architect, showing me new buildings he's building throughout the world.
Do you see those monkey paws just going to whichever way? You see them? That woman right there is using the monkey paw technique. You know, and that's all designed to keep you off balance. See, hell, that's right. Don't look at my mush mouth. I want you to focus on my monkey paw just going every which way. So, the monkey paws is moving, man. I barely was able to focus on what she was saying. Let's see. For that mush mouth, get to going.
And they were like, 80s, he's a kid. But again, it is relative.
You hear her? So here's 2 more folks that's designed to come out and help out the Democrat Party. So let's see what they're interviewing Nasty Pelosi about while they give her a platform to run interference for Joe Biden and the rest of them. Here we go.
He's younger than I am, so he's a kid to me as well, the president is. This president did such a remarkable job. He is a person of such knowledge, such vision for the country, such knowledge of the issues, such strategic thinking, and such a legislator. And
while I'm sitting here looking like a big fat banana on TV, that's right, I look like a yellow bus. A big fat old washed up canary as I sit here tweeting some lies. So here she is. He's such knowledge and he's powerful. That's right. So let's see what he's saying here.
On top of it all, the person who connects with the American people, he just has to get out there.
About Israel, because the president met.
So let's see if Nancy's wonderful accolades holds up, because she's talking about Biden is so powerful and knowledgeable, and he connects and smart and intelligent and all of that stuff. So here we go.
With the president of Israel yesterday in the Oval Office. This moment got a bit of attention, and it's not the only one that is kind of like this that we sometimes see, and I just want to play it for you.
Sure. And we brought Israelis and Palestinians together at a political level,
Why do you think the guy from Israel keeps looking? He's looking like, is this being recorded? Am I the only one seeing? Anybody know what this man is saying? I have no idea what he's saying. This right here is in bed. Should I just sit here and act like I don't recognize this guy's falling asleep / reading notes right off of his lap? Should I do that? Anybody? Is there any cues? Somebody? That's crazy. This guy over here is falling asleep, it sounds like, while he's reading notes off of his lap, mumbling under his breath. Israel, Netanyahu.
And as I affirmed to Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday,
oh man, he's sliding in some African languages. So y'all hear that? I got that part, and I got Netanyahu.
Commitment to Israel is firm.
John, this got a lot of attention. It got picked up in a lot of places. Why is it so hard to understand what the president is trying to say there?
I think he was very, very clear, Martha. What are we to make?
Unbelievable. Now that guy right there, he got that full tight red dress. Here's some more. Here's some more. Here's some more people with red dresses. This one right here, this dude, he might as well come out with just nothing on but some red thongs. This how bad this guy's about to prostitute himself.
Of Donald Trump's hardwired fixation with Hillary Clinton's email server during the campaign. An email investigation that ended without charges. The lock her up chance. It was a call and response to at all of those rallies. I was there covering it. And now, fast forward to the current moment, Donald Trump is accused of trying to wipe a server that had video footage of the mishandling of classified documents.
So are you saying that perhaps we'll get the same result with the Trump case as we got with the Hillary case, which was no charges? And that's the problem that a lot of the country has with what they see. That's why they bring up Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton, very similar situation as you point out. You know, no charges, no reasonable prosecutor would bring charges, was the famous quote from FBI Director James Comey. A lot of people just have never bought that, and so they're going to question, okay, why is Trump being treated differently?
Donald Trump is being treated differently because he had classified documents that were about nuclear secrets.
That's a lie.
Of America's allies.
Now you see him prostituting himself. First of all, he has no bass in his voice. Why is it? Can I get one person from CNN, MSNBC, CBS, any of these folks who hate Trump? One man on there with some bass in his voice. Donald Trump is big, prosecuted because he had classified. How do you know that? I haven't heard anything else about that. What are you talking about? Nuclear codes or nuclear classified documents. He just pulled that one right off of his butt. Now you're going to see this guy reach deep down trying to figure out ways to make this make sense, okay? Now, I'm not finished with this, okay? But right now, I think my dad over there is up and he's having some problems. So I'm going to have to delay and come back in a few minutes. We're going to finish this because I ain't finished with these folks, okay? So we're half an hour in. Let me get him calm, get him fed, relax him, and then we coming right back for part 2 because I ain't done with you, with the guy with the no bass in it. Hold on, let me just let y'all hear just a little more. Hold on.
And to your original question, Jeff,
what is that question?
If we've learned anything from the 4 years of Donald Trump's presidency and his campaign leading up to it and the campaign to try to get reelected, he's the master of projection.
Holy moly. Now you see what we're working with? You see, whenever these folks come out doing this stuff, it's obvious. The Bidens are in trouble. Okay, we need to go ahead and rescue them and pivot. He's the master of projection. As this dude is about to project all of that vomit up all over his network right here, coming up in just a few minutes. So stay tuned. Keep your dial tuned in to KC Live, okay? And I'll be back after I settle this matter right here and get old man Teddy nice and comfortable, okay? All right, so God bless y'all. I'll see y'all in a minute. Unbelievable, these people, yo. That's why y'all got me here, just for this. See y'all in a moment. God bless.